we do have technology involves like learning new skills. It can replace jobs as well. That is happening today a lot. Challenge of jobs, finding and keeping a job, people said. Losing your job is a challenge. Being laid off, where your company lets you go because the economy is so bad. Stress is a big one. Let me add finding or losing. Finding and losing a job, because you may also lose your job. Recessions like the economy, right? A weak economy is a challenge. It's a challenge because we don't have enough money to buy things. Social media can be a challenge, addiction or privacy. Mental health is a big challenge these days. I think it always has been, but people talk about it a lot more. Choosing a partner. Well, finding a partner, never mind choosing a partner. Raising children, as you mentioned, a lot of you. Pollution and climate change is also a challenge, right, in our lives today. Related to that, staying healthy, I guess, is the other one that we mentioned. So here, just to give you a flavour of the kind of challenges of modern life. Let's move on. Let's get into the vocabulary. So I'm just going to introduce some key vocabulary phrases and collocations. Just to remind you, I will give you quite a lot of vocabulary so you have it as a reference. I don't expect you to learn all of this vocabulary. There's too much, right? So don't feel you have to know all of these words. You can just choose some of the most important for you, right? Let's begin with the word challenge, which is a ch sound, ch. The stress on the ch, or the cha, as it says, cha, challenge. This is a ch, and this is a j. Ch, j. Challenge. If you can say it with me, a challenge. This means a difficult situation that needs a lot of effort to do well, right? For example, finding a job is a challenge, or finding a job is a real challenge. Collocations, we can say a big challenge. And again, I recommend you just repeat with me. A big challenge, a significant challenge. The accent is on the ni. A significant challenge, a real challenge, a new challenge, an exciting challenge. Brilliant, good. So notice challenge can be positive and negative, right? A significant challenge, a real challenge. It's kind of negative because it's too difficult, but a challenge can be positive. We can say a new challenge, an exciting challenge. For example, learning a second language is an exciting challenge. Learning English is an exciting challenge. I hope, maybe not for everybody, but let's hope so. So that's it, challenge. Spot on. We say it's a challenge to do something. It's a challenge to, notice the to becomes t. It's a challenge to find a job. It's a challenge to give up smoking. It's a challenge to stay in shape. Okay, so that chunk is really important, and you want to try and repeat that chunk so it sticks. It's a challenge to. It's a challenge to. It's a challenge to. It's a challenge to wake up in the morning. It's a challenge to speak English. Not for me. It's a challenge to speak French for me. Okay. So it's a really useful chunk, right? Notice the grammar here. It's a challenge to. Synonyms of challenge. So these are, when I say synonym, a synonym means a similar meaning. it very rarely has the same meaning. Normally, synonyms have a different, slightly different nuance or a different feeling, right? So a struggle is like a challenge, but it slightly makes it feel like a struggle, that it's really hard, right? A battle is really, really, really hard to do. It's even stronger, right? A struggle is like a fight. A battle is like a war, battle of the roses. We can say it's a struggle to stay in shape. So in fact, battle and struggle are idiomatic because they don't mean a real fight. It's more idiomatic, but it's nice to say it's a struggle to stay in shape. Okay. Notice it's the same phrase. It's a challenge to, it's a challenge to, it's a struggle to. It's a struggle to find a job. It's a struggle to give up smoking. It's a struggle to prepare for IELTS. What do you think? What do you find a challenge or a struggle? Problem solving is a real challenge you may face. That's true. Nassim says, it's a challenge to get out from your comfort zone. Very nice. Like it. Good. Keith, the two I need to pronounce like t. Christine, good question. You can pronounce like t. You don't have to, right? It's possible to say it's a challenge to give up smoking. We sometimes say that, but not more natural spoken English, we say t, right? So you can rather than need to. It's a challenge to speak in public, Pion. I agree entirely. Let's have a look. Nicola says it's a struggle to save money. Yeah, especially in the recession and the times of austerity, right? Here we go. It's a challenge to let your love go. Wow. Oh, that's hit home. That's hit me very hard. Penaru. Wow, very, very strong. Daniela, it's a struggle to learn English and speak like a native. Very good example. Monica as well. It's struggle to stay in shape after menopause. Yes. That's very, very true. I'm not laughing. It caught me by surprise, but it's very, very true. I agree entirely. At least that's what I'm told. Obviously, I don't know, but I am told. Just let me help you, Monica. You say struggle. Remember, it's a struggle, right? It's a struggle to do something. Struggle has verb and noun. Yes, correct. Yes. It's a challenge to keep healthy. Great. Morale. Great. Some really, really good examples there. Nice. Now, we're talking about challenges and problem solving. With a problem, we can say a difficulty or an issue. This is a problem. I have a problem. I have a difficulty. I have an issue. An issue. I should bring up the thingy for you. The phonetic script. Issue, because it's a strange one. In fact, it is pronounced in different ways, right? In different languages. Different American English or British English, we pronounce it differently. This is the way I would pronounce it. Issue with a sh, like shop, shop, shoe, an issue. That's how, as a British person, we would pronounce it, an issue. Stress on the issue. Okay, good. For a problem that you need to deal with so you can progress, we can say a hurdle, an obstacle, a stumbling block, or a setback. So these are also synonyms. Okay, let me put it all on one page to make it clearer. But they're not exactly the same meaning. They're a similar meaning. These synonyms are more about a small problem you need to deal with so you can make progress. So you can make progress. Let's make it problem. Again, these are idiomatic, because a hurdle, if you're watching the Olympic Games, you will have seen, right, the hurdle. Let me show you over here in Google Images. So these are hurdles. This is 100-meter hurdle race. Hurdles are things you have to jump over. So when we talk about a problem is a hurdle, it's that idea you need to deal with it to make progress. You need to get over it. Obstacle, the same, some kind of hurdle. Stumbling block. To stumble is to fall. So a stumbling block is something that makes you trip, makes you fall. Anything, you're walking in the street and you hit something, boom, you fall over. That's the stumbling block. It's just something makes you fall. So the idea of a hurdle, an obstacle, a stumbling block are things that are going to make you fall. You have to go over, right? So they are similar to problems, basically. Or a setback. A setback is something that pushes you back. So it's even stronger. So we can say, for example, the biggest hurdle to learning English is the grammar, right? Notice this construction again. The biggest hurdle to doing something. It's a challenge to, the biggest hurdle to learning English is the grammar. The biggest hurdle to practicing is finding a speaking partner. The biggest hurdle to cooking well is finding good ingredients or finding a good cookbook. Okay, so again, synonyms that we can use. Excuse me. Let's see. Palvi says, IELTS reading is a real challenge for me. Yes. When it's a verb, you stress the second one, Nicola. Progress. IELTS reading is a challenge for me. It's a challenge to, I'm going to UK. Right, this is interesting. So after it's a challenge to, you must have a verb. Right, you need to put a verb there. So let me help you, Janatul, here. It's a challenge to... It's a challenge to go to. It's a challenge to go to the UK for my master's degree. It's a great example. Just remember 2 plus the verb. Yeah. Pai for so, if I pronounce it correctly, the biggest setback to learning English is the pronunciation. Brilliant. That is a lovely example because you've taken this idea, the biggest hurdle, the biggest setback. Brilliant. Love it. Well done. Julia says, inflation is a stumbling block for me. Soared up to 40%. Wow, seriously, 40%. Are you in Myanmar, Julia? Again, I'm just helping you here. I would separate 2 phrases. Inflation is a stumbling block for me. It soared up to 40% nowadays, right? Nice. Brian says the biggest setback to learning Chinese is recognizing the characters. I agree wholeheartedly. Papu says, I don't know English, but I try to learn. Great, Papu. Well done. Keep going. Let's see, what else have we got? Anyone else? One more. Got a nice one here. The biggest hurdle to getting visa is convincing the visa officer. Yes, your interview is crucial, right? Yeah, very, very good. As well, Pirasanth, let me just help you. The biggest hurdle to getting a visa is convincing the visa officer. So you just need to add a and the, and you have a perfect sentence. Very, very nice. Well done. Excellent. So we've seen synonyms. Here's another one, a snag. Now, a snag is a really interesting word. It's more informal, but a snag is a small problem in something that is mostly good. So where you have a situation and everything's great, but there's a small problem, just one thing, that is a snag. Okay? A snag. What a great word. Sounds like a snail. A snag. I have a snag. And the small problem is da 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 da. For example, right? Let's take learning to drive. Is quite easy, right? I mean, yeah, changing gears for me is easy. Using the accelerator and the brake is easy. The only snag is parking. I find parking very difficult. The only snag is parking. Learning to drive is easy. The only snag is parking. Learning to speak English is easy. The only snag is the grammar and the pronunciation and the vocabulary. Oh, and the fluency. Oh. Another example. He fixed my phone. The only snag is now the battery is dead. Right? It's a small problem in a situation where most things are good. Okay. Great. So we've got all of these synonyms, a snag. Okay. Moving on. We talk about facing a challenge and rising to the challenge. So to face a challenge is to well, right, here's the challenge, here's the face, right? Is to look at, is not to avoid. So no problem. Is to look at and tackle the challenge, to look at the challenge, to face the challenge. Okay, you can face a problem, face a hurdle. Now, face a challenge. You can link. Practice this with me. Face a challenge. Face a problem. Face a hurdle. Face an obstacle. Face a setback. Hey, pronunciation is not a challenge for you. I can see. So to face, for example, teenagers face many challenges these days. I have faced a lot of obstacles in my career. Okay, so to face something. To face, is it to experience? It's more than experience. It's actually proactively trying to solve. Yeah, so it's similar, but it's more than that. Roro says, we've planned the entire trip, but the only snag is that our flight got delayed. Roro Riri, perfect. I like it very, very much. Yes. Christian says, face challenge. It makes perfect sense. My first language says like this as well. Yeah, I think so. Yes. Streaming on YouTube is easy these days. The only snag now is waiting for a microphone to arrive. You've bought one, I guess, right? Lan, to face is to deal with. Nice. Yes, I like it. That's a perfect way to say it. Perfect. You're a better teacher than me. This is why I love my students, because you help. We're learning together. Matilda Mercy. I faced many problems in my family life. Right. Great. Bisa says, face the challenge, don't put your head in the sand. That's a lovely expression, right? So to face is to look at, put your head in the sand is to ignore. And it's a really nice idiom. Bisa Ibrahim, thank you so much for that. That's great. Okay, to rise to the challenge is not only to deal with, but it's more than that. It's to be willing to try and do it. Okay, so it's the idea, the challenge is here, you're here, and you can face the challenge. But if you rise, you're putting in lots of effort, right? To rise to the challenge is to get up, to roll up your sleeves and to get ready to fight the challenge, to rise to the challenge. So it's even more positive than to face. To rise to the. You must have to and you must have the. To rise to the challenge. For example, it's not easy for her to stop smoking, but I'm sure she will rise to the challenge, right? She will try and do it. Excellent, good. Mayrush says, I have faced a lot of obstacles to speak fluently. Great. Although I hope we're helping you today. Alexander says, I faced a lot of obstacles to register the land around my house. Let me guess, Alexander, government bureaucracy, right? The difference between deal with and cope with, they are very, very, very similar. Very similar meaning. Cope with, it's a slightly different feeling, and I'm not sure how to explain. Cope with, the feeling is that there is more pressure. If I deal with a problem, there's not a lot of pressure. There's a problem, I can deal with it. Cope with, the feeling is, wow, this is a big problem, a lot of pressure. I can't cope, right? I can't handle it. So it's a slightly different feeling. Mung Mung Ang says, I face sleeping problems every night because I have so many assignments. Right. Excellent. Good. Sorry, excellent English. Terrible problem. This is a nice one, Anna. It's not easy to relocate to another country, but I will rise to the challenge. Perfect. Nice. Very, very nice. Excellent. Good. So we've got all these synonyms, right, of challenge and synonyms of problem. We've got ways of facing a challenge, rising to the challenge. Let's talk about the solution. Right? The solution is to overcome a challenge. That means to succeed, to overcome a challenge. I faced many challenges when I moved here, but I overcame most of them. That's true, right? Some of you may know, about 6 years ago, I moved to Spain and I faced some challenges. One was I had forgot a lot of my Spanish. Two was I had forgot a lot of the culture in Spain. Simple things like kissing on the cheeks, things like the food, things like paying in the bar at the end, not at the beginning, and also making friends. Moving to a new country, making friends, especially as you get older, is more difficult. So I faced many challenges, but I think I overcame most of them. So to overcame, to solve, right? Or succeed. I think I overcame most of them. So notice to overcome. So come, you know the past. Came, I overcame in the past. If you say a problem, we say to solve a problem. So to overcome a challenge, to solve a problem, to find a solution. We can also say to sort or to fix, right? In this case, to sort a problem, to fix a problem. For example, My brother is good at sorting financial problems. He's good at sorting financial problems. I can't sort this problem. I can't fix this problem. I'm trying to think of a problem I couldn't fix. Yes. One problem that was very hard to sort when I came to Spain was my banking credit history, because I had no history in Spain. So that was a difficult challenge it was a difficult problem to sort or to fix. Okay. Ramin, is overcome a challenge suitable for writing? Yes, absolutely. Yes. I need to put my life plan and try to rise to the challenge. Yeah. To make your life plan, I would say. Layla says, this is very nice, Layla. Having a trustworthy teacher like dear Keith is one of the right solutions to overcome the challenge of learning English. Very nice, lovely. Layla, I'm going to help you just a little bit because it's a very difficult word, a very, very difficult word. Trustworthy, right? Very difficult word, but very, very nice. Roro says the ability to overcome challenges is a valuable skill that fosters personal growth and resilience. Very nice. I like it very much. Let me see. Hello, Imran. I can see you there. Other examples? Cesar. Great. To overcome the challenge of learning English, you must practice day in, day out. What a good idiom, Cesar. To practice day in, day out. It means every day, all the time, right? Very, very good. Excellent. Good. Well, listen, we're there. I think we're there. That's quite a lot of vocabulary, right? Quite a lot of words, quite a bit of practice. Very, very nice. Let me just take a quick drink. If I can. Where's my jingle? I've lost my jingle. Ba-dab-shee-be-doo-be-doo-be-doo-be bum bum bum.